started? It's on. Come on in if we're going to get started. You gave me the worst mic? Come on in, take a seat. We're going to get started here. That's better. Well, less talking. Please stand for a flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In conformance with the Open Public Meeting Law, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting, setting forth the time, date, place, and purpose of this regular meeting through notice posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, mailed to all who have requested and paid for same, and published in the Suburban Trends. Roll call, please.
Mayor Sarah.
Here.
Council President Wright. Here. Councilman Day.
Here.
Councilman Barranco.
Here.
Councilman DeLine.
Here.
Councilman Giaconetta.
Here.
Councilman Bennett.
Here.
With us this evening is our Borough Attorney, Joseph Ragno, and our Borough Administrator, Kevin Boyle.
Everybody talk among themselves. I'm going to go get my Bible. All right, lock the door.
Nowadays, you probably just throw the first page down.
Well, listen, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Everybody
Stand up.
It's good to see everybody. So, and he said he did. So I just want to let you know I did ask him, but apparently fell on deaf ears. Tonight, and from here on, happy good time, Joe. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to him.
Sound better with opening.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, it's my privilege and honor to bring up our next sergeant, Stephen Cafati. Yeah, do the resolution.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Resolution 17-202, authorizing promotion of a police officer within the Pompton Lakes Police Department to the rank of sergeant.
Okay.
All right, make a motion.
So moved, yeah. Second. Councilman Branco? Councilman Giaconetta? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Now it's my honor to bring in Stephen Cafati. Forward. Easy. And I also have the honor of bringing out my daughter to pin it on him, Michelle Sarah. She wants to step forward. Now repeat after me. I state your name. Yep. Okay.
I, Stephen Cafati,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of
perform perform all the duties of
police sergeant
police sergeant
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, our new sergeant. Congratulations, our new sergeant. How long have you been an officer? So Steve has been an officer with us for 9 years. I think we have probably one of the best police departments around in the area. I know they're always involved, they're always willing to step out and go outside their duties to help the community and do what they have to do. And I know the residents are very supportive of what we have, and I know the council is very supportive of what we have. So we thank them all for their duty and everything they do. And, you know, we love to see people from town move up the ranks, so that's very important to us, so that's great. Good job, Sergeant. God bless. Yeah. All right, now's your chance to get out if you don't want to hear the rest of the council meeting. I would think you'd all want to stay, but I see you running. Yes.
I didn't see
Take care.
Good night. No, how's what's the tradition in terms of getting your number and getting
Okay, we cleared out nicely. Can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment? So moved. Councilman Devine. Second. Councilman Bennett, all in favor? Aye. Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Please step up.
I guess it's just us regulars, huh?
I guess they didn't want to hear you talk, I don't know.
Randy Hinton, 443 on Clare Avenue. Just before the resolutions are passed, could I get an explanation on Resolution 17-203, 204, 206? Before they're passed.
Yeah, well, we might as well do it now. Hold on, just stay right there.
Well, 3204 and
206.
203, 204. Can we discuss it now? Yeah, you want to explain a couple?
203 is a shared service agreement with the Borough of Ringwood for Chief Financial Officer, Purchasing Agent, and Tax Collector. As you know, last year we did a one-year agreement with Ringwood, and Debbie Buchanan was brought in to do those services. Gail Beto had retired, and she was our financial defense officer and our tax collector. So now we have a agreement with Ringwood that will last a 5-year term, which is the maximum under the shared service agreement, and that's what that's about. Also, we do just local service with Ringwood to do stormwater cleaning. As part of our storm management, we get Ferraro Engineering does a list of all catch basins, outfalls, and Ringwood this year comes down and has a machine that cleans out those catch basins, and we contract them for that purpose.
That's a machine that does that, right?
Yep. The last thing is relative to the Marina Broadcasting is the owner of WGHT, and that was to allow our environmental people to do a limited survey of the property.
So the last one was the survey of the property, so we're just going to see how we do it.
Environmental survey, that's not a building inspection or anything, that's just environmental.
Just environmental, which we have to do if we're going to take any type of project.
Right. So we still haven't, we're still considering whether or not to take that donation.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session? So moved, man. Councilman Baranco, Councilman Begg, all in favor? Aye. Against? Approval of minutes. Motion to approve the following minutes: regular meeting minutes of November 8th, 2017, closed meeting minutes of November 8th.
So moved.
Council President Riker, do you have a second? Second. Councilman Begg, all in favor? Aye. Against? Bills and claims. Motion to approve the following bills as listed below. Can I have a motion? Councilman Blunt? Councilman Begg, all in favor? Aye. Against? We have no petitions. Consent agenda whenever you're ready.
Does anyone wish to have any comments?
I do. 205.
Whereas the mayor and council of the borough of Pompton Lakes have reviewed the consent agenda consisting of various proposed resolutions, whereas the mayor and council of the borough of Pompton Lakes does desire to remove resolutions for individual action from that agenda, now therefore be it resolved that the following resolutions on the consent agenda are hereby approved. Resolution 17-198 through 17-208 with the removal of 17-205.
Can I have a motion? Councilman Begg, Councilman Giaconetti. Any discussion on the ones we just talked about? Motion to approve.
So moved. I thought you already had a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Just, can I have a vote?
Well, first we,
Yeah, you already had a motion for the consent agenda. So
consent agenda, now I'm going to read the one that vote.
you didn't did you take a vote?
They voted all in favor for the consent agenda. Now I'm doing
No,
a separate
I missed
action.
that too. Okay. All in favor for the consent agenda as listed? I don't think we voted.
I don't think so.
Aye. Okay, against? Now we can read this.
Okay, so now I'm going to do the separate action.
Yes, yeah.
17-205, authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute an access agreement with the owners of 46 Ringwood Court.
So, for my purpose, Mayor, is just for an explanation.
Yeah, I have to take a motion. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Council President Riker? Second. Councilman Begg? Thank you. Discussion? Go ahead.
I just want clarification as to the nature of this agreement, Mayor, that's all.
It's
It's
it's an access agreement.
it's-
It just gives us the right.
As part of our work along the Wanacue River,
Okay,
there is a tree that's located on this property, it's in the river.
okay,
And it's a standard access agreement we've had for a while now, allow us to go in there, move the tree.
okay,
We usually utilize that property.
no problem.
Except in cases of public health, safety, or welfare, we try and get access agreements whenever we go on somebody's property.
Sure. No, I just wanted to know the reason for it,
Oh.
Council, and the nature of it. So thank you.
And just so, while we're talking about that, that's to clean the Wanacue River, to pull out
Yes.
trees right now. Okay.
I'll do a roll call.
Roll call.
Councilman Begg?
Yes.
Councilman Baranco?
Yes.
Councilman Deline?
Yes.
Councilman Giaconetti?
Yes.
Councilwoman Riker?
Yes.
Councilman Begg?
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
done.
That's it, we're done. Okay, under my report,
I'm sorry, we had two ordinances that were
Yes.
first reading last month.
Well, one of them is set for the 19th, for the next meeting. One of them was.
Okay.
And what was the other, was the first reading?
One was the downtown Pompton Lakes.
right, that's the
That-
19th.
That's one for next meeting. And then the other one was the I think it was the wording for the life hazard useless.
I think that was
That's
the
what
That was the
done.
second.
yeah.
You did the second reading.
That was the second reading?
Yeah,
I think so.
You changed the name to fire
By
department.
car.
Right.
yes, yes.
Under the minutes then, of the November 8th, it only marks it as first reading. There's no mention of it being a second reading.
We'll have to check that, but I'm pretty sure that was the second.
Oh, no, that is, never mind. Didn't show up on my previous, okay.
Okay, we're good?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's good, yeah, he said it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Okay, under my report, first off, a lot of the council up here went to the league, which is the League of Municipalities, where all the towns and their governing bodies go down, take classes, interact with each other, get some ideas. I attended a lot of meetings. I attended a mayor's luncheon with Council President Riker. A lot of good information passed around. What's nice about going down to the league, besides the classwork that you do, you get to talk to other mayors who are probably in similar situations that might come up with different ideas on how to make things work. So, that sharing of information does help, helps our community, helps other communities, and, I feel it's very valuable to help run our town the best we can. And I get to meet with the local mayors from around us, and we can kind of talk about some issues that we have regionally. So for me, that's what I get out of the league. I'm sure everybody's going to talk about the league in a different way, but I get out of the league that I get to meet with the other mayors and sit down, maybe have a drink or have dinner, and discuss some issues we have. So that's one thing I did. Today, myself, Michael Fabrizio from the Redevelopment Agency, and Andy Silversea from the Planning Board met with the whole high school, 600 kids. We did a presentation on redevelopment for the kids that the FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, had put out. I don't know, were you guys there today? How'd you think that went? No, that's okay. I'll respond to this.
Okay.
So, I thought the kids were very interactive with us. They asked a lot of great questions. We all know it's not it's a very complicated plan and idea to make people understand. So I think at the most part we did a very basic understanding of it, and they asked questions about it. Actually brought up a point to me that wasn't discussed in any of the groups. After the meeting, a girl had stopped up and spoke about something that I thought was very important. So again, it's a good way for the community to reach out and understand what's going on in their town, and at the same time make some understanding that maybe things we've missed when we talked about it. So I was honored to go talk to them, and my first line was telling them, you're probably better off in your first period class than listen to me talk about redevelopment. But at the end of the day, I was impressed with the fact how knowledgeable they were and how they thought out the questions. Even if there was bid bucks involved about their questions, they still thought out the questions. We had a personnel meeting about some new hires that we'll be having soon. We have, just want to remind everybody, our stroll has been moved to December 9th from December 2nd because of the state championship for football is on that day, and we feel it's better to have a lot of the community goes down to watch the football game, so this way we can still have both events. So the stroll is the 9th. I'd like to congratulate our soccer team here in town. They won the state title in a very exciting game. I was there, went into overtime. We scored in the first minute of overtime. Really fun game to watch, very exciting, so congratulations to them. Tomorrow night here in this building right here, we have a drug and education forum put on by our municipal alliance. It starts here at 7 o'clock. It's very valuable information for parents and for kids. We're going to touch on the opioid epidemic, touch on the issues that we have here in town, which has been done through surveys of the children and the parents. So it's a very valuable tool for parents to understand what's going on with drug and alcohol awareness in our own town. I think there is some light refreshment served during it, and it will be here at 7 o'clock. Toys for Tot train, I forgot to mention that. That's coming this Saturday. 12:45 at the train station. Please come out and support the Toys for Tots. We're always a big supporter of that organization. It's for the Marines come down with the train, and we usually fill up one car ourselves here in Pompton Lakes with toys. So I'd like to keep that going. We have a new person running that, Tim Trost. He's now in charge of running that. Tom Quigley did it for many years, did a great job. He's now passed it on to Mr. Trost, and I'm sure he'll do just a good job, but we have to help him support that. And that's my report. Council President Riker.
I think I'll start my report just following up what the mayor said in terms of the League of Municipalities. I've been going down to the League meeting most of the years that I've served on council. And quite frankly, I thought this was really a superb meeting. I thought it was very well organized. I think I probably get the nerd award. So here's the brochure. Here are my notes. Here are the handouts. But I thought the courses were great. And they very much tied to many of the things that I do as a council person. Half of the programs that I went to revolved around redevelopment. There was one regarding innovative ways to deal with the very tight liquor license laws that we have here in New Jersey. There were municipal bond course that I attended. There was a course on communities and changing ratables. In my capacity in terms of serving on finance and personnel, there was an interest arbitration program that I participated in. I'm the liaison to the prosecutor, so I went to the bail reform program. And just to keep up with the youngsters on the other side of the table, I went to the cybersecurity program, which really was quite interesting. I thought, in addition to the opportunity to go to the courses, there is a lot of networking. We were able to meet with potential redevelopers who are somewhat interested in our community. It was a chance to meet them and discuss, further about possibilities for what's going on in town. And I think by and large it was a huge success. The redevelopment agency did meet. We did not meet on a regularly scheduled night because it conflicted with the league. So we met this Monday evening, and we did appoint a new redeveloper on a new project. And even though we have not seen any shovels, significant shovels in the ground, I'm happy to report that according to our our tally, we have 88 units approved thus far. And the project that we approved, that we appointed a redeveloper and began to address the pilot with this redeveloper, was for 20 units. The project, you don't have the poster, right? Where is the poster? Okay. They left us so that people can begin to get a sense. They had a very good visual, and the mayor asked them if we could please keep it so we could have it in the community for people to begin to see what we anticipate happening. And this project that I'm talking about is in the what's often referred to as the CJM building. So redevelopment is very busy and active. I want to make a few congratulations. One is I want to congratulate our community and our candidates in that our community is by far the cleanest community of signs. Our signs just disappeared within 24 to 48 hours. Our streets basically are clear. When I drive to all these neighboring communities, there are still signs hanging around, and kudos to everybody that was involved to be diligent about getting them. I also want to congratulate Stephen Capati. Obviously, we had a very large crowd here tonight, and congratulations for him being our new sergeant. And I guess lastly, with the lights up here, it means that Thanksgiving's over, Black Friday's over, Cyber Monday's over, Giving Tuesday's over. So I came as the holiday caterer once again. So these are called Hanukkah Gelts. These are chocolate. They're not real gold coins, but they derive from the traditional Hanukkah game where the children play dreidel. And this was the traditional gift that children got during the holiday, would be a gold coin, as opposed to what you see going on now. Liz, I also picked up a couple of extra claims for you if you need them this year. So, happy holidays to everybody. Our next council meeting is the first night, I think it's the first night of Hanukkah, but this way we get a jump on our Hanukkah gals. So, there's plenty for the audience, so I guess let's start here, and then we'll pass them down.
I'm not going to skip on.
So just to follow up
Wait for your kids then.
on the redevelopment agency, last night they announced, like she mentioned, a new project. The other thing that was announced is we're opening a bid office in where the tanning salon is, on Wanacue Avenue. In that bid office, we will be hanging up all the displays of what's going forward with redevelopment. They'll have hours stationed there, and people can go in and ask questions. We'll be sharing that along with our Alliance Coordinator, Erin, and she'll be in there also doing her job, so it'll be a shared service in there. But it gives people an opportunity from the town to ask a question about redevelopment, and somebody will be there to answer it and take a look at the drawing. So I think that's a nice setup that will look good moving forward. Councilman Brink.
Thank you, Mayor. We made a very good man a sergeant this evening. Steve has been in this town, born and raised in this town, and even the briefest conversation with Steve will make you realize how much he loves this town and how much he loves to be a cop. And that's the kind of guy we want on our force, and I salute him. I have a very brief report. I attended the MUA meeting on November 20th at the MUA building. December 18th is the next MUA meeting. Meeting started promptly, 6:03. In a couple of meetings back, I made mention of well number 3, Mayor, which is the well in this town that's the most responsible for getting water out to us. It had been reduced to 50% in its reduction, 50% reduction in its volume of flow. They have taken proposals to fix that well. The problem is the intake. And on November 13th and 2 or 3 weeks after, so I would expect that first week of December, we would have a fully functioning well number 3, which is very important for the spring. The hydrogen flushing is complete, and that was all I had at MUA. I did the zoning board meeting last night, which was a grand total of 3.5 minutes. There was no agenda. 4 people came out to sit up here for 3 minutes and 48 seconds, and it was over. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, and that's my report.
Thank you. Maybe you would know, or Kevin, you might know, I saw it in town today. They were going around blowing out some type of MUA piping in every spot they had throughout the town with the sheriff officer behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else see that?
Yes.
I don't know what they were doing. Did anybody know what they were doing? No?
I have no idea. I know that at the meeting they were mentioning that they were running into sewage clogs on branches. In other words, clogs coming from homes or businesses, and they were working on that. That may have been what
That might look like they were blowing stuff out of a drain, but okay, we'll follow up.
They started from what I could see on Ringwood Avenue.
Right,
And then the Wanacue board.
And then later in the afternoon, I saw them on other places throughout the town. Okay, Councilman Glenn.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, congratulations to Stephen Kufati on being a sergeant. It's always interesting to interview them and hear their perspective on how they like to do things a little bit differently as they move up the ranks. So, congratulations to him. I'm sure he's going to continue to do well for the force. A couple weeks ago, the Pompton Lakes Environmental Protection Committee had its river cleanup. Again, it was pushed back a few weeks because of rain the one day. Fortunately, we had a good enough day this weekend, and it coincided with the Trails Maintenance Day. Had a great turnout despite the late day. Had members of the Girl Scouts and High School Environmental Club attend. It's amazing. I mean, there's a lot of work that's been done on the river, and they always manage to find some interesting garbage to pull out of the water. So, this time I think Ed Farrell had identified a couch that had to be moved out. I think Frank, you were part of the couch pulling team. So, every little bit helps, and it's glad to see our community involved in helping Pompton Lakes. The same day, one of the trails maintenance days. The committee actually has been in the process of removing the metal markers that we put up 2 years ago, that, I think they're not quite as environmentally friendly. They're sort of easy to remove, to damage. The trees have started to actually grow around them. So we removed them and replaced them with paint markers, which are actually easier to see and a little bit better for the trees themselves. The Trails Maintenance Committee also met earlier in the month, planning events for 2018, the family hikes and the 2018 maintenance days as well. This past Monday, the Community Garden Planning Committee met. We've identified a location now. We think the Harrelson and River Edge Drive corner is probably the best area for the trail, or for the community garden. City Green, who has provided the grant, helped us out with actually a design. So we reviewed the design, we discussed it, some of the pros and the cons and things we might want to change within that. And then we discussed materials, fundraising, logistical needs. And we're planning on holding a public forum on Tuesday, January 16th, to discuss with the residents their interest in participating in the community garden, signing up, those kind of things. We're developing a flyer, so that information will be out. A little more information will be out momentarily.
We can get it on our boards. We'll get it
on the board and we'll get all that stuff done. But we just want to make sure, I got to double check with Liz that we've got the availability, because I know that's a planning board meeting that night, so we're hoping to get the Civic Center. Otherwise, yes, that's why I have to check with you. It's Tuesday, January 16th.
She's not telling you now.
I know. I'm not expecting an answer. I know.
She denied you. Never mind.
She won't forget as long as Liz puts it in the notebook. The planning board met a couple weeks ago. There was an article in NorthJersey.com. There was a conceptual design for a proposed medical office on Patterson-Hamburg Turnpike. The medical offices on the second floor and a pharmacy on the first floor. I know it is sort of the billiards building. I think it's known for other reasons.
The old telephone
building, yeah, but that's where it is. The design was interesting. I have a more classic preference in design, but it certainly is an improvement on what's there now. So, I think they'll be planning on moving that forward to actual site plan application to the planning board in the relative near future. The planning board also did approve the site plan application for Lakeside Commons, probably better known as the Salvation Army site. Again, that's been covered in the newspapers a number of times. Project's going to be 52 1- and 2-bedroom apartment units, and I think that's one of the pilots that we received in some of the units that Councilwoman Riker referred to earlier. So it's a big project from town. Again, it's going to bring some population, some economic activity, and some new vibrancy into the area. Recently, I made some updates to the website, just added online calendar dates for 2018. Found out as I was looking at some dates for 2018 on the online calendar that it stopped in 2017. And said, okay, that's got to get fixed pretty soon. So that's more or less been taken.
Council meetings don't pop up on
Yeah, I still got to do the council meetings because we shift days and everything.
Waiting for it.
Yeah, well, that's the next thing to do. And then finally, congratulations to the boys high school soccer team for winning the state championship and the boys football team for making it there. Hopefully next council meeting we can congratulate them for winning the state championship when I got once again. And that concludes my report.
So going back to the project that you were mentioning, at what you call the billiards area or the old telephone company, that building has been in need of repair for many years, and this gentleman that are coming in to do this are putting some real money into the project. They're putting elevators into it, pharmacy on the bottom floor, medical establishment on top. I think it'll look nice over there. I think it's a good fit. It's just another idea of bringing people into town to start businesses again. This is what it's all about, getting people back into town. So I think it's a great project. I personally like the way it looks. I know some people don't, but I do like the way, I like a little color in there. I think it's a nice project. Councilman Giaconetti.
Thank you, Mayor. Real quick, I just wanted to congratulate Sergeant Kufati, and the testament to him, and just so everybody knows, it was nice to see you had Mr. Camper and his widow was here, Pete Camper, and that's who Stephen took over. He's going to have big shoes to fill, but I think it was very good to see them here and congratulate him, and it was good to see them and how everybody turned out for it. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to the police department. Like the mayor said, they definitely used the best, I mean, I'm speaking kind of, since I retired from there, one of the best.
A little
around,
biased,
so.
but all right.
Yeah, a little biased, but one of the best around. Real quick, I just wanted to let everybody know, I know Liz sent it to us from Bloomingdale, all right, and what it is, they passed a resolution, and what the resolution is, they're trying to get PSE&G, now, whenever they do pipes or any work, they'll do like one side of the road, and what happens is they only do half the road, they'll only mill half, and not do the other half. So what Bloomingdale proposed is a resolution to Senator Carnelli, of course in a different district, but it's something maybe we should take a look at. Because if everybody noticed that, right, they want them to do the whole road for aesthetics and other reasons, going forward. Because a lot of times, like, we might be planning, I know Mr. World is planning on doing different roads, and we might just do a road, and then they'll come up, rip it up, and we'll do one half, and now the other half's not the same time, and one half will be,
Well, they are supposed to wait 5 years after we do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's something everybody's seeing if we maybe want to do that.
So I think we should follow up on that. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and this way make them do the whole road.
Right.
So that's everybody, if they do whatever one half, they're gonna have to do the whole half and redo it. So that's something that I just wanted to bring everybody's attention. I thought it was maybe a good idea. Also, I had Shade Tree Commission meeting, and I'm pleased to announce they had 68 hours last month of volunteer hours as a group. They also removed, to date, 36 trees were removed, and 25 trees were pruned up to the last meeting. And they're still proceeding and going on as of now. They also wanted me to thank the chief for sending Matt Evangelista out to Riverdale Road when they were doing some pruning, and he did some traffic control, so that we're happy about that, and he came out there, so I want to thank the chief. I did see him before, I did tell him on that. Also had attended a VFW Veterans Dinner. I know it's sponsored by the Republican Club, but we usually do it after the election, so this way there's no partisanship, no nothing. It's just about the guys that served our country. And it was a wonderful event, it always is. Everybody comes out there, and it was packed. So it was great to see, food, everybody get together. We had people from World War II there, I mean, in their 90s. It was unbelievable. It's always a great event, and maybe more people attend next year. It's usually always after the election at the VFW. A great event. I attended it. It was very nice. As Councilman DeLine said, attended the Open Space Committee and Trail Maintenance. It was good to see a lot of high school kids there, and his children, and a lot of the Girl Scouts. It was a pretty good event. We got the couch out and a few other items out of the river. There was only one mishap. I broke only one rake, so it wasn't too bad. So I had to replace it. Happened to be Maria Kent's rake, but I replaced it though.
No broken bones.
No broken bones, but just a broken rake. So, but that was the only casualty of the day. So it went pretty good. And then I wanted to congratulate the soccer team. It's the third time, not only state sectionals, but state altogether. Not only sectionals, this is for the whole state. So that's a hell of an accomplishment. Third time this happened in our town history for a small town like ours, that the soccer won that. And then also good luck to the football team this Saturday. And hopefully they'll bring one home. If not, we're still just as proud of them, regardless of what happens, and the town stands behind them. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Going back to the river cleanup a little bit that both of you were at, I was talking to another mayor that does a river cleanup, and they're lucky if they get 10 people to show up to their river cleanup. I would count it, how many did we have probably there? Yeah, there was a huge number of people, and it just shows that, when you ask the town to come in and help, and this is helping everybody in the town, not helping one area or another area, It's helping everybody in the town, it's helping our rivers flow, it's helping keep our rivers and lakes clean, that people come out and support. So I thank everybody who did that. They came out, and it was a little wet and a little cold when we came out. Unfortunately, I had to do some other things, but I was there for a little while, and I saw the group there, and I thank them all for coming out.
Before I forget, I think a lot of credit goes towards Maria Camp.
Sure.
Who has been the EPC chairperson for a long time, and, does a lot of work making sure. She reached out to the Business Improvement District to get the T-shirts made, and reached out to the different groups to make sure they participated. So, and she, she works hard throughout the year to make sure that this event goes off.
She definitely does, and she's been doing it a while. Okay, Councilman Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to congratulate Sergeant Kufati on his promotion. I wish him luck in his career as our new sergeant. Last month, I attended the Rhino Theater. They had the opening night of a show called The Producers. We were invited to attend, and it was pretty amazing show as they usually put on. So I definitely recommend we go out and support the Rhino Theater. I also attended the Veterans Day dinner. I helped clean up. Frank, I think you were serving, right? Yeah. They're serving. Our new senator was out there. Kristen Corrado was out there serving as well. I also attended the League of Municipalities. The classes I attended were more focused towards the IT, social media aspect of government involvement, and I took some really good notes, and I'll share them with the mayor and council. There's a list of rec events I'd like to mention. Breakfast with Santa is December 9th. There are 2 seatings, 8:30 and 10:30. My family will be at the 8:30 seating. You can sign up on Capture Point online and pay right there with your credit card. It's really easy.
So that's capturepoint.com, right? Is that the address?
Yes, it's also linked off our new website, Pompton Lakes -nj.gov. You can also sign up at the Teen Center November 30th and December 5th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Toys for Tot train is this Saturday. I think one of the other council members mentioned it. Drop off unwrapped presents or gift cards. If you can't make it to the train itself, there are drop-off boxes all around town as well as in Borough Hall. Next, holiday stroll was mentioned also, December 9th. The road closes at 4. Any organizations that want to march in the parade is to meet by 4:30 by the ice cream station. Parade will start shortly thereafter, and then the opening ceremony is at 5:30.
Roughly 5:30.
Roughly 5:30. There'll be popcorn. There'll be popcorn. I'm told there'll be popcorn. Santa mailbox is at Borough Hall until December 15th. Drop off your letter, and Santa will write you back. What else? Who's got? Oh yes, Historic Commission met last night. Our 125th anniversary of our borough is in 2020, so it's only 2 years away, I guess, now. So it's definitely something to think about planning for any events and whatnot. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, and just to remind everybody about the holiday stroll, we've asked the captains of the soccer team, the band, and the football team to light the tree ceremony this year, so they're going to get back to us to see if they can do that. So the tree lighting does start around 5:30 in front of the library, if you're interested with that. At 4:30, there is a parade that starts, like Councilman Bennett mentioned, from the ice cream station to the library. Everyone is welcome to march in that, and then when we get down to the library, of course, Santa Claus arrives on the fire truck and the lighting of the tree. So it'll all be a nice event.
Mayor, to Councilman Bennett, what time is the Toys for Tots? What time should we arrive?
It's 12:40, it's 12:45,
It starts.
12:55, but arrived
Okay.
a few minutes before.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, I
quick.
know it's quick, I just want to be sure I didn't show up late.
Yeah, it's really quick.
Okay, Councilman Big.
One last thing. I couldn't remember exactly who was our liaison to the historic group, so I picked this up at the league. It says Save Historic Sites Now, so.
Thank you.
That's for you.
Mayor, also, I just wanted to make sure, too, I forgot to mention, with the, there was a lot of chatter on Facebook when the kids won the soccer and they came back. I wanted to thank the Riverdale, Pompton Lakes Fire Department, our police department. gave him a nice escort through town. Everybody's, what's all the lights and sirens? Did something happen in town? What the hell's going on?
Champs.
And we came back.
Don't forget
Yeah, exactly. And, I just wanted to thank them, because it was great. I tell you, the kids enjoyed it. I thought it was so special. That's what's great with this town. And it was hundreds of people back
Yeah,
here
they
at the
really
high school,
did,
and it was really good. So thank you to you guys that did that. It was made the kids' night, and my kids loved it, so thank you.
You can thank Al for keeping us in touch with that.
Yeah.
He was out there,
Mayor,
observing.
I already conversed with our athletic director. Because of the time, the latest of the hour that they'll be getting back on Saturday night, we are going to take care of the Earl and Siren issue, because I know some people were disturbed by that because they have young kids. So we are going to address it as much as we can in anticipation.
I think the best solution to do that is if we can get the word out that this can happen. Some of the newer residents in town don't understand that this happens, and they're the ones that, I did get some calls, and when they heard what it was for, they were fine with it. They just didn't know what it was for. So if we can get a little more word out, and that'll probably be better off. But yeah, it's good. Let's work with that a little bit. Okay, Councilman Begg?
Thank you. I'd just like to congratulate Steve Cavati on becoming sergeant. Steve came on probably just after I left the department, and I've worked with him through the first aid squad, and he really is a very good officer, and he's an asset to the department.
Good.
I also attended the municipal convention, and from the 14th to the 16th. Sessions I attended were, some of them were repeated here, and they involve redevelopment. Other things involve other forms of government, including flooding. I went to the liquor and license economic development session. Bail reform impact on municipalities, and there is an impact on the municipalities, particularly in overtime. Session with a panel of former governors commenting on Governor Christie's legacy in the next 4 years in Trenton. That's always an interesting session, because you get a little bit from both sides, and they're not in office anymore, so it's very interesting sometimes. Also attended the elected officials premier budget and procurement, shared services, merging public service functions, and major changes to Flood Hazard Area Control Act. And I'd like to congratulate the soccer team. It's not the first time that they've done it, it's probably about the third time. The last time I remember was we won at Hillsborough. I forget who it was against. And good luck to the football team. They've been there a few times. We've been very fortunate. About 5 years ago, we were there 3 years in a row at Mets Life. And I had the luck of being on the field. It was a lot of fun. Also, congratulations to the National Merit Commended Scholars, Elena Drazimski, Josephine Russo, Kyle Schaefer, and Liana Valencia. And congratulations to the Advanced Placement Scholars, Kelly Beck, Christian Patel, and Julian Valencia. And that's my report, basically.
Okay, thank you. Professional reports?
I have no
No report.
One other thing, Mike.
Okay.
I just want to remind that the session, you had mentioned it earlier, about the drug coalition meeting tomorrow night. I think that's very important for the residents. I hope to have a good crowd.
7 o'clock here tomorrow. Minister's report.
Just a couple of things, Mayor. As you know, we received resignation of Officer James Rippey, and we're also working on a new group of hires for 2018. That replacement will be part of that group. Also, our 3 candidates that were in the academy graduate tomorrow, and they'll be here on a full-time basis shortly thereafter.
No, that's good.
Jersey Central Power and Light sent me a list of all the tree trimming they're going to be doing in 2018. It's extensive. They're going to be doing all the lines coming out of the Riverdale substation, and I'll give that to my friend Mr. Hinton, so he can be prepared to deal with that, because it's, of course, you know, when they do tree trimming, it's a once every 4-year event, and there's a lot of bloodletting. People aren't happy how the trees look when they're all done. But the bottom line is that the Board of Public Utilities has a standard, and power companies must meet the standard relative to efficiencies of the service. So it's always a tough time when they come in and do these 4-year trims. So it's going to start in January. It's a significant amount of streets. I mean, I have 3 pages of streets here, so.
My phone will be ringing.
It'll be interesting. Revaluation is coming to an end. In December, in this room, we're going to be having revaluation hearings with residents. It's going to be daytime, some evenings, and on weekends, because the room is available on weekends. And they've asked for extension of the evaluation. Not that they won't be on the books, but give us 2-week leeway, because normally I like to have that book signed in Patterson by 10th or 11th of January. So we might have a couple of weeks, but it will all be completed, and it will be on the books for 2018.
How will the residents know?
Oh, they're going to get letters.
Yes, our notice is going to go out.
So just like the original letter, every resident will get a letter from the evaluation company signed by our assessor, outlining the program and.
Do we have a date of when that's going out?
Should be relatively soon.
All right, so every resident in town should receive a letter explaining the process of what goes on after the point of assessment. So I'm assuming that 95% of the assessment of the homes and buildings.
They're down to very few.
Let me just clarify. The letter will announce the upcoming meeting, or will it
The hearings.
provide?
It'll give the hearings, the dates and times.
Okay.
You can call them, you can schedule your appointment.
And it should have the assessment on it as well.
That's my
It
question.
probably will, yeah.
Okay, so we'll have your individual information. Okay. And are we having any general meetings for this? No, these are individual.
Well, they're not individual. Are they by appointment or are they
That's
by?
what I'm
By
asking.
appointment.
By appointment.
The station's up, we're going to have message, we're going to have boards here. It's a very elaborate operation when it all begins.
So I think what the council president is asking, do you just come here or you have to set up an appointment?
You
to come
just
here?
set an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my last question, we meet the middle of December. Is it possible that these meetings will be scheduled prior to our meeting?
I forget what dates we started, but they're going to be through most of the month of December.
Okay.
No, most of the month of December. I forget what dates they're at the top of my head.
And I just said, for the audience's sake, the reason you could come and question your assessment is because they did something wrong in the assessed value of your house. You can't argue the number, you can just argue the
You
fact.
can argue your number.
You can't argue the number?
You can argue anything,
Yeah.
but you're right about the fact that what they're looking for is, in terms of challenging an assessment, is if they got anything wrong.
Right.
Okay, because they're not just going to change the value they've assigned. They're looking to see, they've got you for 4 bedrooms and you really only have 3.
Right.
They've got you for X square feet, you really only have Y square feet. Things like that, that's what they're going to learn.
So it's important for the residents to look at that paper when it comes in and make sure the information is correct of your home on there. So that's your first step, to look at that and make sure it's right. Like the council had just said, if it says you have 3 bathrooms and you have 2, you would definitely want to come to this meeting and say, hey, look, there's a mistake here. So I just want the public to understand what the meeting is for.
And if I may, Mayor, and that shouldn't preclude the public from seeking an appointment just for the reason they think they're over-assessed. There's nothing wrong with that, to come in and talk. It may not change anything, but it's okay to come in and talk if you think that the number's wrong.
And if they lowered your taxes, should you come in and talk?
If they lowered your taxes, I would hide in the nearest cover hole.
Okay, next, go ahead.
Relative to the firm map and in FEMA, as the mayor mentioned, probably about a month and a half ago, we met down in Trenton, represented DEP and our consultant Joe Scupian, who was considered to be the guru of flood mapping and river hydrology. That meeting went very well, and the next step now is we're going to try to see if DEP is willing to work with us to change their rules and regulations relative to this issue. So trying to get FEMA to change the rules and regulations, have DEP change the rules and regulations relative to floodplain, floodway, and the impacts on the borough, because as we know, the firm maps really don't do much for most people unless you have an issue relative to flood insurance. But they do impact floodway, floodplain, and the DEP regulations. So we're Vince Mazzei, and we're going to hope that they're going to be able to change their internal regulations and make this a much more palatable change in the mapping. Mr. Scoopy believes now, as I mentioned, or maybe you may have mentioned, he has a hybrid analysis, because it's called an unsteady model or a steady model. He's kind of in the middle. But as he's seeing, as he's worked with other towns, he's in Fairfield now, he's in Paquonic now, this model seems to be prevailing that makes sense, because the old towns are so highly impacted by the old standard models, which are so draconian. So it seems to be something DEP is kind of understanding and getting a feel for. And so he's meeting with them next week. We'll have another update as to where we go from there. In terms of river work, we're pretty much done with the Wanakee River. We have a little work to do below Hirschfield Park, and then for the most part, there's ramparts, a couple trees, and they'll pretty much be done for the winter, because a lot of the Quantic is trout production, and we have some limitations. We have wood turtle issues, so I think once we get through the rampart, we'll be packing up our river work until sometime next year. And I'm beginning 2018 budget. Next week I'm meeting with Debbie to go over 2017, so if we have any transfers for last meeting of the year. I'll be meeting with the auditors to find out how we're doing relative to surpluses and things of that nature. So we're kind of looking to close out 17 and gear up for 18.
Any questions, Mr. Administrator? No? Okay.
Just one thing.
Yes?
You mentioned dredging by the county.
No, that was a mistake. That's supposed to be the county update. That was a mistake.
Okay. All right, can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comments? So moved. Councilman DeWine, Councilman Branco, all in favor? Aye. Against? Anyone from the public like to address? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public session? So moved. Councilman Brennan? Second. Councilman Branco, all in favor? Aye. Against? Privilege of the floor? Anybody have privilege of the floor? Yes, Councilman.
Just want to let everybody know, at the Board of Education, I don't know when the meeting, but I know through the PTA and emails went out today that Dr. Paul Moroso were talking about adding a turf field over at Lakeside. There's 3 phases to it. Just wanted the public to know, maybe out there, if you want to go over to the Board of Education. It's going to be, Tuesday the 5th? Yeah, Tuesday the 5th, we're going to be talking about it.
But it's not at the regular board location. That's what you have to clarify.
It's at Lakeside, right, that's,
okay.
right, it's at Lakeside, Tuesday the 5th, and again, it's about here, it's like a 3-phase plan. First, the turf field, the second phase will be the lights, and then eventually they want to do to put the football team there, the bleachers, and the stand. So, if you have any questions, concerns, or report, or maybe head out to the Board of Education meeting, and, just wanted the public to know this is what they're looking at, so. All right, and they even had a little handout, questions and answers too. You can pick up at the Board of Education office on Van Ave over there next to Lakeside School.
I think flyers went out to every student in school to their homes.
Yeah, it did.
Again, you
I know it's a
mentioned...
PTA too, yeah.
Right, this is a school project, this is not a town project. We will maybe have some ability to use these fields later on after school functions are over, but right now, this is a school function that they're putting together. And again, if you have concerns or questions, you should show up at the meeting and ask about what's going on.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday the 5th.
This coming
This
Tuesday evening.
The 5th at Lakeside.
7 or 7:30?
7:30 at Lakeside.
7:30 at Lakeside. I personally welcome the support in the field. I think it's a good thing. I think most towns around us have a sports complex of some sort out of turf. We're one of the few towns that do not. And some, having high-level teams that go to states a lot of the time, sometimes it's a little embarrassing to have a field that looks like a big mud pit. So I think...
the lights, man.
The lights, the whole process. It's a staged process, so we'll see how it goes. But I think the first stage, the part I'm happy to hear is they've already put the money aside for this project, so it's not coming out of extra tax dollars that they'd have to raise taxes on the school side. Again, I'm just going to remind everybody, the town is responsible for 26% of your tax dollar, the school is responsible for 62% of your tax dollar, and the county is what's left, about 15 to 19%. So they've already said we're not going to increase our taxes to build this field. We've already put the money aside for this field. For the last 10 years, they've been saving for this in their capital budget. So that is a good thing. So we'll see where it goes on Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Mary Ann.
Any other reports? Okay, got a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Glenn, Councilman Giaconetti. Thank you.
Thank you.